I'm here on top of some hills, wearing a big trench coat and a clip-on mic, about the budget that this short film will extend to, with my dead uncle's inheritance, of course. I'm doing this to look important, and I do. I'm now walking through a field. This is one of the many important things to remember when being a filmmaker. You must keep your viewer interested. Today, I'm going to talk about the ups and downs of my life, my skills, and most importantly, why I am the greatest filmmaker of all time. I'm Tom Clegg, and this is why I'm the best filmmaker of all time. My story starts on the 19th of July, in which God breathed air into me and said, let the best filmmaker of all time be born. Then God said, let there be a great editor, and so it happened. Watch for this transition. Fast forwarding 12 more years, this is where I will be buried. In here are some of the greatest filmmakers of all time. In other words, there's no one here, because I am the greatest filmmaker of all time, and there is no contesting that. Hear that? Orson Welles, you can take your Citizen Kane and you can shove it up your...
I describe Tom as the Jesus Christ of filmmaking. No, yeah, well, I've seen his CV and it says he's got great listening and communication skills, so he knows what he's talking about.
In life, there are the good, the bad, and the really, really good filmmakers. The plural of filmmakers being generous, because there's only one and that's me.
Here we are, the place in which I discovered my passion, or more so told to me. I took a sequence of the events using my Sharpie pens, something that every good filmmaker must have. Don't worry, you small degenerate filmmakers, you'll get there one day. It all unfolded in mass. And no, the people were not praying to God, they were in fact praying to me, saying such things as, wow, Tom Clegg,
You handsome fella with eyes of diamond, you will be the one true filmmaker.
and etc. In which God whispered into my ear and said, make Ashton virtual tour. When I wrote, directed and starred in Ashton Virtual Tour in the year 2022, the coal mining industry, as well as the filmmaking industry, were in pieces. With films such as Free Guy and Spider-Man being released, I seem to be its only true ticket out. Or in Jesus Christ's words, I seem to be its only true saviour.
Well, the meaning of Ashton Virtual Tour is hidden in plain sight, which works amazing for the effect. The film isn't about a hero trying to show people how amazing Ashton is, but instead a comment upon the lead mining industry. How's that? You have to see for yourself.
The undisputed character in which everyone seems to love, Ashton Boy, is without a doubt a highlight of the film, and has attracted a large subculture surrounding him.
That Ashton boy, eh? I remember Tom showed me the finished product and I said, hey, who's that boy? Needless to say, Tom stared at me.
Unfortunately, we were not able to get hold of the actor who played Ashton Boy for an interview. However, we do wish him all the best in his new coal mining firm in Mould, Wales.
Some people like to believe that I am arrogant or egotistical, and to that I say that their conscience is fleeting and they're bound to slip into the eye of Satan's pit in the next 50 to 60 years. They also didn't write Ashton Virtual Tour.
Is Tom arrogant? In my experience, no. However, there was that one time he did beat me with a cane after I said Adam Sandler was a good filmmaker.
People always say to me, Tom, do not beat your friends with canes. Now, of course, they're commenting on the Sandler situation, which took place in the year 2022 and got released to the press. But what people don't know about that situation is that it was in fact not a cane. It was a really big coat hanger.
Despite the fury surrounding the Sandler situation, it sparked an idea in me, something that no woman or really clever parrot could have ever thought of in a million years. I made a charity.
In 2023, I founded the Tom Clegg Foundation, a charity which involves teaching underprivileged young people about the dangers of beating your friends with canes. Despite all my efforts, however, a child died. After being hit with an overdose of adrenaline whilst beating his friend with a cane, it seemed as though my career was only heading south.
Well, serves him right, really. The child had it coming. That's karma for you right there, young Gregory.
From the death of that night onward, I began to have strange dreams, weird and crazy dreams. Those dreams would work in my favour, however, as they would soon lead on to the masterpiece, John and the 400 kiloton nuclear warhead.
John. The nuclear warhead's here again.
John and the 400 kiloton nuclear warhead was an amazing piece of work. From the shots, the angles, that CGI nuclear warhead. That cost us at least a tenner in terms of the budget.
This is the first film I starred in with Tom, really. You know, despite the many abusive words he flung my way, he was an absolute joy to work with.
Despite the hype from the cast and crew of the film, critically, John and the 400 kiloton nuclear warhead failed to reach the explosive heights that we had hoped for.
Look, I'm not one to judge. But those who agree with the press are sheep. You know what they say? Those who are sheep...
Well, the press is just a bunch of homeless people, really, aren't they?
Look, my dreams do not lie. Last week, I had a dream where I had a really lovely steak. I then woke up, went downstairs, went into the living room, and there was a cow in the living room. Coincidence? I don't think so.
That's true, there was a cow. I can confirm that. Was it legally allowed to be in our home? No. No, it wasn't. But that just goes to show that the statement is true. Tom's dreams do not lie. Passions do not lie. Everyone has their quirks. Mine is doing this intricate Rubik's Cube. Observe.
Despite my happiness with my last project, the critics' criticism was awful for the look of my career, and even worse for my bladder problems.
You know, Tom became more violent because of this. You could tell he wasn't taking it lightly. I mean, there were more jars of lactic acid thrown across the room than usual by this point.
I fell into a deep state as what one would describe as sadness, trouble, and more sadness. No, it was not going well actually. It started getting to the point where I was using my failing scripts as those little spitballs to shoot at passing indie filmmakers who think that they're so much better than me. No, yeah, it definitely came from a place of insecurity. For my first time, I truly began to doubt my abilities as a filmmaker.
This was nothing in compared to the scale of my achievements though, and eventually I was ready to pull it all back, and so I did. I created the 8th one.
He came to me one day with the script and he said, "Hey Jake, how'd you feel about the 8th one?" "The 8th what?" I replied. "The 8th one," he said back. Confusing title, as it was only his 3rd film. But it all just sort of fell into place after that.
This was going to be a hit. I was sure of it. What was it to be about? Well, the clue's in the title, really.
The 8th one released in 2025 to critical acclaim, the highest of praise that all the praise could receive. It won at least 3 Oscars in filmmaking, video editing, and the best supporting role. People still truly haven't figured out the plot yet, and perhaps they never will.
That brings us all the way back to today. My controversy's all forgotten about, my career is finally back on track, and most importantly, $5 million in funding have been put into the Tom Clegg Foundation by His Majesty's government. What the future holds, who knows? But one thing is for certain, I am the greatest filmmaker of all time. Thanks for watching, and I hope that you know that if there's one man for the job, it's me.